Hello everyone, welcome to BellCAT. This is Anand and I've worked for some of the top MNCs out there such as Loreal, Berger Paints India Limited and HDFC Bank. In these organizations, I had conducted interviews myself and helped some of the students also to crack their own interviews. Today, using these tips, I'm going to help you to crack the interview that you have been targeting for into the B schools. So tip number one is questions. There are certain set of questions which is very common and prevalent in all of the interview questions that are being asked out there. So make sure you prepare them. Point number two is your attire and your posture. It is very important to understand and know the kind of interview that you're going for. If it's a formal occasion, definitely prepare a complete formal attire for the same and the kind of posture that you're carrying. So point number three is confidence. This is the most important and vital thing that you can carry for your interview. And point number four, which is the most essential of them all, is knowing yourself and everything that you have mentioned in your CV. So let's dig a little deep into these set of points that I have just mentioned. So point number one was questions. So it's very important for you to understand the kind of questions that are being asked out there and obviously prepare them beforehand before you go to these set of interviews. What are the kind of questions that are being asked? For example, tell me something about yourself. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? Why would you want to join this particular college? Why would you want to pursue an MBA or a postgraduate diploma in management? What makes you different from others? So these are few questions that are generally asked in every single interview that you go ahead for. So what is the best way to go ahead with these set of questions? Write them down, prepare an analysis, what should be the things that should be included and what are the things that should be excluded. Write them down, understand them and then prepare them well. Do a lot of mock PIs so that you understand what you're saying, when you're saying and what is the pitch that you're delivering. It's very important to know all of these things. And if you're a proficient speaker like me, you would probably face a lot of difficulties if you're not writing them down, because every time you're going to be answered, there is going to be some amount of variation compared to the previous answer. So it's best that you pen it down into your notepad. Point number two is attire. You're expected to be in a full formal attire when you're appearing for any of these interviews, whether you're a girl or whether you're a boy. So the next thing that you need to understand, a well-knitted two-piece suit would actually send a right message about your confidence to the person who's sitting across the table. So when it comes to shirts, navy, blue or white shirts are actually preferred for interviews. Avoid colors like black, purple, orange, pink and so on. When it comes to accessories, the only thing that you should be carrying is a good watch, probably a classic one that would go along with your suit. And the next thing that you should be understanding that you should have a well polished shoes. Do not go for flashy ones. Make sure they are well conservative close lace shoes or Oxford shoe. Make sure they are not flashy and or party shoes or party wear, and the same would go for a girl as well. Remember, the look should be absolutely conservative and fully formal. Your hair should be set, and for girls, they can tie up their hair. In point number two, we also talked about posture. Make sure whenever you're sitting for an interview, your back is upright and you're avoiding any kind of fidgety movements of your hands or your legs, because they go ahead to show that you are actually nervous or you're anxious about the particular interview. You need to be calm with your hands completely placed over your laps to ensure that you're stable and in a stable frame of mind. That's about it when it comes to posture. The next thing that you should be careful about is using filler words such as hum, looking upwards. These kind of involvements basically show that you're not really present out there or you're distracted. So this is something that you can definitely avoid and prepare well before an interview. In point number three, we talked about confidence. Now this is the best thing that you can wear for your interview. How do we get that? Now confidence comes with experience, knowledge and with a lot of practice. In order to gauge on that particular practice, you need to understand the set of questions that come in the interview, write them down and practice them a lot. With sure amount of practice, it is sure that you will be able to face the interview with a lot of confidence. And the last point of the video, know yourself. It is imperative that you know yourself really well, in the sense you know your strength as well as your weaknesses and everything that you have mentioned in your CV, because they are going to be asking you questions directly from the CV itself. So it is imperative that you know each and every single thing that you have put out there in the CV. For example, I have had the opportunity to conduct an interview where an interview actually did not even knew about the fact about a particular skill set that was mentioned out there in the CV, and he was really clueless about it. Now these are the kind of things that you definitely want to avoid when you are appearing for an interview like this. I hope with all of these points, step by step, you will definitely have the ability to improve on your overall skill set. Don't worry, it's going to take some time, it's going to take a lot of practice, but trust me, if you follow all of these points, you are going to definitely improve in your interview skills, and I'm sure that you will crack the best B school that you're targeting.